Now I have something to say. I want to ask actually something. So whoever want to can answer actually, not want to, but can answer, let me know. Okay. So this is the same file. So this is where we have data. Toys data, we have a toy shop data, newcomers. So I'm actually somebody, let's say, who actually is into the children toy, this market business. And we have these toys being sold to all these. You can see the different countries, France, region, and all that stuff. With the what we actually sell off and the quantities, the cost, the feedbacks, the sale. There's a one more column which I have added for some reason. This is just a website, let's say. Okay, so different age group categories. So we basically deal with infants, toddlers, and of course the kids, right? So it's like 0 to 6, 1 to 2, 2. Okay, day on day we have a data for 3 years. Okay, so this is 2022, 2021, and 2022. Simple data. Okay, it's a kind of toy shop data, sales data, you can say, where we are tracking the performances. Okay, now I'm here actually. Okay, as you can see, the data is there, right? And I'm going to prepare some visual which we have created last time. So this is the visual. Now you see what I'm trying to actually ask is, you see this is working, isn't it? Right? The visual is working, all of you. Yes? Okay. Now, if I refresh this, let's say for some reasons I want to refresh the data, who will tell me what is this error and how I can sort it out? So first of all, understand, if the path is changed and you're not going to refresh, Power BI will not create a problem in creating the visual. Why? Because the data which you have in the Power BI, that is already a stored data. So till the time I will not refresh, the reports will work. So don't come back and say, so if the refresh is a problem, why I was able to create a visual? Because this data is available in Power Query. Remember, Power Query stores the data step by step. So till the time refresh will not happen, they are not going to, go and talk with the person, the data over there. It is only when you refresh, the linking starts, because then that happens from the step 1, right? Step 1, step 2, everything. And that is where the problem comes. Very nice. So now how are you going to solve this? Okay, so this is the Power Query. First of all, you see this is where the problem comes, right? Power Query says, I don't have this available. Now, please understand that in this particular case, when you have the path changed, you can go in the edit setting. Let me see the edit setting. In the edit setting, you can simply now browse and take the data to that, but you don't have to come in the Power Query. You can do this from the Power BI also. Okay, so how are we going to do this in the Power BI? Let me just close this. So this option I told you before also, in the transform data, we have current data source setting. So I'm going to give the change source. I'm going to give the file, the path of the file. Okay, let me browse this. And so when you're going to now have this data, please remember one thing, that the data has to be the same data with the same headers, right? It's not that any file, because that will be created as a new data. So let's go to the connect this with our file, which is toy show file. Let's say okay. And if all goes well, then we will not have any error further. Okay. So apply the changes, creating the connection, loading the data, and review. I think we are done. Okay, fine. So now we know that if we will not refresh, it doesn't mean that you can't work on the data. Yes, you can work on the data, because I have not refreshed the data. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now this is done. So this is just a quick small exercise I wanted to do with you. Now, so what do we have now? So so we have covered 3 visuals in the last session, right? Which was about the column family. So we have covered this cluster column, right? We understood each and every, almost 95% of the, in fact, more than that, we have covered all those parameters. We have then understood the difference between the stack column and also the 100%, right? And we have seen those ribbon features also, amazing features. And then, of course, the customization, all that. Now, so this is the data which we have created. Now, just, let's wrap up this quickly. You see, so we have this one column chart. At the same time, you can also go and create the same chart, but on the different level. We can also, this is a column chart, as you can see, because here we have all these, the, this, what do you call the area, these bars, basically, they always go like column in Excel, right? Vertical, I mean to say. But there's a way of, another visualization where we have this in the uh, uh, row direction also, row by row, which is actually this bar chart. So there's no difference actually between the bar and the column in terms of their attributes, in terms of their functionality, except for the look, the presentation. So let me quickly go and click on this. Where is the one? So you see there we have 3 from the bar and 3 from the column. So that makes it 6. So I will first go and use the same one, which is a clustered bar, right? So this is the clustered column, which we have done. I'm just going to click on the clustered bar. So you will see that the data actually aligns horizontal. Simple. So sometimes if you prefer using the data because of this, the dashboard you're creating, you want, width-wise, you want to save the space, and height-wise, you think your data will look better than by giving this space width-wise. So you can definitely go and use this horizontal, the bar visual also. It's the same otherwise. If you go and see the y-axis age and these legends. So let's say I'm just going to put the legend as country-wise. You see that? Yeah, right? Remember, right? If you don't remember, well, you should remember. But still, let me just change this to a column. So there's no difference other than the way it presents the data. It takes actually, it goes like, from left to right, and this is from top to bottom, right? So this is a column-wise, this is a horizontal-wise. That's the difference. Okay. Otherwise, every feature remains the same. Let me delete this. Now, so if you go and see all these y-axis, x-axis legends, we have already covered all these things, right? Everything is same. So we'll not waste the time on this. Let's copy this and let's go and create this here. Now, on the same fundamentals, the column, the visuals, we have here another visual which can give us this data basically on the basis of the stacking. Okay, one over the another field, if you remember, one above the other one. So if I have here these country like going in this way, now if I change this to stack bar, see what will happen. You will have a less space now, right? You see that we have already discussed this in detail, that when can you use this and when can you use this, and otherwise information wise, they are giving the same information. But here, looking at the area, I can clearly see that this is the country, which is India, which is giving me the maximum number of sales, right? So this is how it is. Again, in this also, you have the ribbon feature. If I click on the ribbon feature, you see that? Remember this or not, right? If I hover here, I can see the information. It's a very, very good information, right? Anyone can go and scroll here, hover here actually, and see that how the first category and the next category are correlated. Okay, so this is the same thing. And if you remember that we have customized this as well, because I was telling you, I'm not in the favor of, I don't like to have the same color theme. Instead of that, I can create something on my own. Like, for example, if in the ribbon I go, this is the ribbon section, right? So here, match series is there. So I can have here my own, specific color. So for that, what I can do, I can just off this, for example, and I can say, I want my own color. Right now, this color has no sense because you can't see basically against which particular category this particular, the series is there, right? So definitely when I create the border, this is going to come. I told you this point that time also. Now, since the borders are coming, so I know now this is how I actually have to scroll on this. And this is how I will now know the sales happened, the change happened between, this to this, but specifically for India, because this is actually India, isn't it? So this is how the ribbon works, right? And we have a ribbon visualization also, which we will cover today or maybe tomorrow. And yes, as I said that time also, that I will go for some different type of a color, or the transparency I can increase. For example, if I'll go with this one, this sort of the color, I will go and I'll try to keep this maybe transparency in this way. Okay. And in the border section also, you can have a different type of, the lines if you want, or we will try to use this light color, actually, the border. Yeah. So this is what I was telling you, that I will go with this one, right? Because my main focus is these bars. But yes, people also should know, which is a very important information, that if they hover here, they can see the previous and the next, whatever the category you have, the difference between them. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's here also. Okay, all right. And in the layout section, yeah, this is all about that, the space. Okay, the space between the ribbons you can create. This is something we don't need it. Okay, just copy. I mean, this is something you can try at your end. Now, same way, we will go and use the 100%, the bar visualization, which is stack again. So this is here, this one. And as you know that this will show us the line in the y-axis in the percentage, isn't it? Right. So the same one, let me remove the title actually from here, x-axis and y-axis. Okay. Yeah. So this is how this visual is all about. Okay. So let's put this here. Yeah. So if I hover here, you can see that I'm not just only getting the numbers, but it's telling me the percentage as well, which is 22%. Here it tells me the number only. So it's here, it's telling me the percentage, which is why it is called 100% stacking. And this is the stacking where we have the numbers, not the percent, right? This is how it is. So if I select this one, let's do one thing. Let's see that. So we have the ribbon here. We have the data label. Let me click on the data label. You see that the data label is coming here, which is in the percentage. We have done this before also, but still I'm sort of revising. So let me click on this visual also, and let me have the data label here also. So by default, when I click on this, the data label is in number, and here it is by default in the percentage because of the visual. Okay. Okay. So let's see that what else we can have here. Yeah. So okay. Now if you, so I'm right now on the 100%. Okay. Now if you see here under this is the detail section where we have this the percent of total, right? If I click on the value also, let's click on the value, and sales is there, and let me just off this. You see that right now I see here the values, the same thing. This is where we have the whole number, but this is in the, this K format. Okay. So I have this here. What I'm trying to tell you actually is that in the value section, when you click on the value, when you see the value, and obviously your main agenda here is to actually print the values in the percentage format. So what we can do, we can off this, and then we can have the detail section, and in the detail section, I will see the percent of total automatically, the percent of total. Okay. But this percentage of total, if I go and select another visual where only the stacking is happening, it's not based on the percentage. If I go and click on this, the detail, you see that you don't find that here. You don't find that here. You don't find this option here, the percentage of total. It's not going to be there, right? Though you can add it, but for that you need to learn the tags. Okay, so this is one of the difference which I have found. So this basically goes for the percentage. Now, please do pay attention here. One more thing. You see that percent of total by default comes, and if we will activate this, the percentage comes. If we off this, and if we activate the value section on the top, you will see the value, right? But if I'm using this, I prefer the percentage. Now, at the same time, if you see, we have the custom also here. Now, what is the custom? Now, custom means that, okay, so you want to add maybe something which is not provided to you here. Like let's just do for this, do this experiment. So I click on the custom, and in the custom, now this data comes, add data. Now, add data means I can have here something else. So, I mean, if I want to see something, like for example, this is, let's say I want to see the countries, I think that will make a lot of sense, because this all area, the bars, they are representing the country. So where is my country? Yeah, this is the one. See that? This is again amazing, isn't it? This option is available in the column, stack column visual also. Okay, I don't know if I have discussed that, but it's one and the same thing. I mean, if you know this thing here, you can apply the same there also. So I can have the country also, in case if I don't want the country, for example, if I try to prefer the cost, you see, I can see the cost as well, right? I can see the cost as well, just for information, right? But I will not use, I mean, maybe I can go with the country because this looks nice to me. And then with the country, if I try to, let's say, use the sales, for example, see, it's going to now the sales and the country. Now, you need to have a lot of space for this in order to see both. So so we will not prefer that, right? So I just go and use the country only. So we'll go with the country, but the country part. Okay. So once you have the country part here, you can see, let me click here. So it comes here as a first country. You can always delete if you don't, if you, let's say, want the percentage of total, you can select this and you can select this. Okay. Now, if you see that why we don't see here the Germany, why we don't see the New Zealand, because this can create a problem, it's just because of the space, because New Zealand requires, I think, the number of characters. So if I try to, kind of do some sort of this thing, where I go and create some space, let's see that. No, it's not showing me. Okay. See, Russia is also gone, So, text can be a challenge. So just go and, try to figure it out. If I try to increase the height, okay, and I try to, let's say, make the font as 8. Yeah, still I can't see those countries. So, basically the things are there, but then you have to figure it out how, if you will go with that or if you just, prefer keeping the percentage, because generally index is here. We have the colors. So there's no point of, we can avoid this. We can remove this from here. We don't need this. Any other data you want to show, you can. So I'll come back to the percentage of the total. Okay. So this is how it is. So percentage of total. And then what else we have? The color part is there. Yeah. So color part is there. You can change the color if you want. Well, these are the things we have already done, right? So let's just finish this. So these are the same visuals which we have covered in the last section, but it has basically a different, you can say, a view. It flows from the top to the bottom. That's why we call this bars, not the columns, right? So these are the bar visuals. I hope this is clear to us, right? And now let's go and talk about the next thing. Let me save the file. So what else is left? So this is done. We have done this today.